And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to my stream. I'm Pierre, your host. I hope you're all doing okay today. So am I. Great. So we have quite a few things I'd like to do today. So let's hurry up, go up to the computer. Let's check out what we did yesterday, and then we'll start our day from there. So what did we do yesterday? We added a second coat to our main character, some light blue cerulean. Then we added a little bit of shading to our very dark purple frame, fixed up our little screw ups. And that is basically what we did yesterday. So what are we going to do today? Well, today we're going to continue and we're going to do the outline to our guy here, finish this off. We are going to start a little bit on our frame. But first, you know, everything I do in the studio when I'm streaming live like this is I basically take my decisions at the last moment. As I walk into the studio, that's when I decide what color I'm going to do, what motif I'm going to do, what size of a painting, etc. I don't really sit down and think, and even at the end of a workday, I go to my computer, I start editing the movie, get ready all my everything I'm going to say on Instagram. And I don't really sit down and ponder about what I did that day or what I'm going to do the next day. So yesterday I actually did sit down for a few seconds, take a look at my painting, and I saw one or two things that I would like to correct, or not really correct, but add to it. And it's basically right over here. On my splattering of my plants, I'd like to do 3 branches like the Japanese do on a lot of their paintings that represent the 3 elements, earth, air, and water. But on this particular painting, I am going to add, I'm not going to splatter because it takes too much time to mask off and bring the canvas on the floor and splatter. I'm just going to cheat and add it with some paint brushes, a little bit more of this turquoise right here. So I'm going to start off by doing that because I'm going to put some dark turquoise first, and then I'll be putting some light turquoise on top of that, and just a little strip of black on top of that. So I am going to get those. So I have my turquoise green right here. I'm just going to put a little bit on this palette. There we go. I don't need that much, really. Okay, there we go. So where's my cap? There it is. If the cap fit, let them wear it. Would the cap fit? Let them wear it. So, got the knife all cleaned off, put that aside, and I'm going to grab a paintbrush. This one I think will just do fine. So I'm going to try to put this on as though it looked like it was splattered on. So this is the dark turquoise green. I'm going to start off with that. And then I'll add the light green afterwards. So let me just go over here and grab camera number 1. I'm going to bring this over. And I noticed yesterday with my camera number 2, this camera over here, it was getting worse and worse. I mean, it would like get blurry behind my back. I wouldn't notice it. And it did that so often. And no matter if I put it on automatic focus or on manual focus, it screws up. And I just have to assume it's because my camera, which is at least 15 years old, is starting to die out on me. So anyways, I'm going to have to keep a very close eye on that camera. Otherwise, it's going to screw me up again like yesterday and day before, last Friday as well. It did the same thing. So let me go over to camera number 1 and let's start adding what I wanted to do. I'm just going to add a little bit right here. Just a big blob like that. Just like that. And then I'm going to add another one right about here. Again, just to give the effect somehow. Just like that. Then I'm going to just grab a smaller little brush and just add a little bit of effects like that. Just want to give it that. I need a little bit of water on this. There we go. A little stiff, this paint. There we go, just a little bit like that. And I'm going to add a little bit more right here as well. Again, have to add a little bit more water. There you go, give it a little bit of streaks. A few streaks like that. It looks like it splatter a little bit everywhere. There we go. So I'm going to be turning a lot and looking that way to make sure on my computer that we are not out of focus. Okay, so that's going very well. I'm just going to add a little bit of white paint and I'm going to just put this right on top of it. I'm not going to wait for it to dry. After all, when we're splattering, we don't wait for one coat to dry before we do the next coat. So I am not going to do the wait either. This is a good way for me to warm up as well, because after I'm going to do the black outline to this guy, actually I'm going to do the red eyeball first. And before I do the turquoise, I'm going to do that right now. Get that eyeball painted in. So where's my red paint? Ah, here it is. Oh, that's the green. What is this? This is green as well. Black, white. Ah, here's the red. Okay. Oops, nice and sealed. There we go. I'm just going to grab a tiny little brush just like this, I guess. Let me wet it. And like that, it will have time to dry while I'm doing the rest. So, very good. So let me bring this guy in here, zooming in. Just like that. Okay. So let me go back to camera number 1. There we go. And since I have the fan right over there, it will have time to dry. And just not to take any chances, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my fan closer. Like that. There we go. Fan closer and aim it higher. Just like that. Very good. So, I am now going to mix a little bit of, I'll go to camera number 1 again, and I'll bring this down here. And I'm just going to mix a little bit of the white paint with the turquoise here. Just like that, because this is what I'm going to put on top of the other, the darker turquoise. Unfortunately, I need a little bit of water. Oh, let me just stretch over here. There we go. Mix all this in together. There, not very complicated. Got that beautiful turquoise green. There. So let's bring the camera back up and we'll zoom back in where I'm going to be adding that on those fake splatters. Let me step back for a second and take a look again. Okay, I see that I need to work a little more on that first coat of the darker green. I'm not quite satisfied with what I did so far, so I'm just going to add a little more to it. I am sure we'll get it right at one point or another, and it will give time for our eyeball to dry. So let me just clean off my knife, make sure it's nice and clean. There we go. Okay, this is pretty good. I'm just going to come back here. Just going to take a look at this a little bit. Okay, I just want to thicken these 2 last branches that I put in there so it looks a little better. There, just wanted to add it a little bit. Step back for a second, take a look at that. Yes, that looks much better. Much better. There we go. Very good. Very good. That, I think that looks better like that. And now I can go on top of that. So I'm going to do like before, just a few little streaks of the darker turquoise first. So let's go back to camera number 1. All right. And let's go back to the lighter turquoise now. I'm just going to step back for a second. Okay. And I'm going to go with this lighter turquoise on top of that. Just like that. Okay, so how does that look? See if I can't get these little streaks to better. Putting this on thicker because I can see that. You can see through. And of course, if it was splattered on, it would be a lot thicker. So doesn't look too bad. Just add a lot more texture to this. There we go. Nice and thick. Can put it on thick because I'm not going to be touching that area again. So There, much better. Much better. And then to top it off, I'm just going to add a little bit of black. Just a teensy-weensy bit of black paint on that. Just to give it some extra depth. Make the whole thing look a little richer. So, not sure I want to use that same paintbrush. I think I want something a little thinner. So I'm going to try another paintbrush that's a little smaller. There we go. Let's try this out. The black paint's a little thick, so I'm trying to thin it out a little bit. I know that it's going to stay nice and opaque, so I can make it a little thinner without having to worry about it. Okay, so let me switch over to camera number 1 again. Let's get these. So how does that look? Almost want to kind of just flicker this black paint on there like that. Why not? Look more natural. Yeah, that doesn't look bad at all. Then I'm just going to add manually a little bit more right there. Right in here as well. So that doesn't look bad at all. I'm just going to add a little tad right there. Look at that. That made all the difference, right? Right. Okay, so that looks not too bad at all. And I can go back in my lighter, just a lighter turquoise, and just add, just like that. A little bit of splattering with the light turquoise. And, of course, just a little bit with the darker turquoise on the upper end. There you go. So now, looking at this from afar, okay, there's the camera going blurry again. Focus, focus, please. Okay. So the question is, do I want to add little flowers like these yellow flowers on the side right here? And the answer is no. I don't think it really needs it. So that doesn't look too bad at all. And unfortunately, I don't think it's quite finished yet. I am going to have to add, and I'll come down here with my camera here, and I'm just going to add a little more of all these colors down below here. I'll just switch over to camera number 1. I'm just going to add right in here. This part here has to be a little bit thicker. So what does this look like from afar? See, there's that camera again, all blurry again. Cannot control it. I did order a new camera. I'm going to have to buy a new camera, obviously, because this one is totally has lost it. Right? This guy here has totally lost its objectivity, doesn't know how to focus anymore. Look at that. It is totally screwed up. So, unbelievable. Ça fait chier alors cette caméra. So I can't get this camera to focus anymore. Oh, my poor baby, you've been so good to me for so long. Don't focus. Looks like my camera is definitely dead. A shame. Okay, so I'm gonna just keep him like that, I guess. There we go. I'll keep him like that, and then when I have a wider angle, I will have to use this other camera, I guess. So that is kind of a drag, all this camera problems. Like I said, I ordered last night a new camera and it should be here, they said, between Friday and Monday. So that means Thursday and Friday, 2 days with working around that camera that will not focus anymore. And I guess it's just old age, I guess. I don't know what else to say. I can't figure out, okay, so it is a $120 Panasonic camera that I bought 15 years ago. I guess that's a pretty good excuse, but it's still kind of annoying though. Kind of annoying that no matter how I put this camera, it will not focus. Okay, there's absolutely nothing I can do about that. So that is a friggin' drag because I'm not going to be able to do anything. I'm going to use my webcam as the camera from to talk to you guys from a distance, and then I'll use this one like I usually do to show up the close-ups of what I'm painting, and then this baby here, unfortunately, we'll have to take it to the cemetery and bury it. So so where am I at? I'm going to grab a glass of water here. There we go. Ah, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, so let's get back to this painting. And I am going to work on this guy, see if I can't finish him off. That would be a major step to the end of our painting. So, black paint. Black paint in the middle of the dead of night. So, here we go. Not going to need that much, really. Not much of a surface to cover. But I am going to have to be careful. And I'm going to bring my stool over for that. There we go. Bring that stool over. And I will bring camera number 1 a little bit closer as well. I'm going to use this bigger brush just to add water and get the black paint to be the right consistency. I want it to look like it's ink. So it just goes on the canvas as though it was ink, keeping, of course, a maximum opacity. There's no way in the world I can put several coats for the outline. And then more importantly is finding the right paintbrush. Because this is fairly small. I'm not used to working on such a small surface, or at least it's been a while since I have. So I'm going to have to be extra careful and concentrated. So I'm going to need 3 things. The right consistency of paint, the right size paintbrush, and to be in a comfortable position. Now, if I can get all 3 of those things together, I shouldn't have too much problem. I might have to go back and fix a few things, of course, like always. And that's one of the beauties of painting. is that you can always go back and fix what you screwed up. Though I must admit, I hate doing that. I love that Japanese calligraphy or Chinese art attitude. What goes down stays down, right? The less you have to work things over. And that's why I used to leave a lot of mistakes on purpose because that was the way it went. But sometimes I change it. So what does this look like? This is nice and creamy, kind of what I like. So now the right paintbrush. I'm probably going to have to switch between several paintbrushes like this ultra very thin one right here. Maybe this one here. I'm going to try with these two guys and we'll see what happens. If I have to switch, I'll switch. Hopefully. Well, I don't know. This one looks right. The other one looks a little too big, so I'm going to see if I can't right away get one a little bit smaller. Like this one, for example. Or this one. I can get several of them ready and switch between them as I go along. Okay, so I dropped one of them. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to try these guys. This one might be a little, well, I might need all three. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to soak all three of these up. And I'm going to start with this one here. So I'll bring this camera up and zoom in just a little bit more like that. Because I am going to start with the head. And I'm going to switch over to camera number one. Sit down on my bar stool right here. So okay. All right. Okay, this is a thinner brush. I can't imagine what would have happened if I used that wider brush. This seems to be just right. So I'll pull this back a little bit. There we go. Okay. I have to stay concentrated, therefore I can't talk. There we go. So I'll bring the camera back, zoom out and bring it down a little bit because I have to work on the left-hand side so I don't put my hand in the paint and create a major screw up. So here I have to be careful because I knifed the background red on, so there's a lot of texture there. It's going to interfere with me putting down my black paint, so. Right there screwed me up a little bit. It's okay though. Okay, I'll move back up a little bit. Shit. Screw that up a little bit. No big deal. Always fix it later. Okay, so I have to stand up and go back here and see what it looks like from afar. Okay, I think I'm going to let that dry before I touch it anymore. I see a few things I have to come back and fix later, but like I said, later. Yeah. Yeah, I think I can come back a little bit later. Yeah, I'm going to put my hands in all that so I can feel the mistakes arriving already. So I'm not going to touch that. I'm going to let it dry and I'll deal with that later. And now, since I have the black paint already here, I am going to go back to what I was doing earlier with my fake. Oops, let me just get the cameras here ready. There we go. And I'm going to just come back to camera number 1 and I'm going to add just a little bit of black to, since I have the paint right here, just a little bit right here like I mentioned earlier. So I'm just going to put a little. There, nothing too radical. I could even splatter it on, but I'm afraid it would go out of control. I'm just going to leave it like that. Nobody's ever going to notice it. It's just for my pure personal pleasure. So let me take a look from afar, see what things look like from back here. All right, let me move my stool out of the way. There we go. And let me just put my cap back on here. And how's this camera number 2 doing? It's still out of focus, am I correct? Let's check it out very quickly. Still out of focus. No way in the world that thing will get back into focus, will it? No, still blurry, isn't it? Yep, I think this camera is definitely out. So zoom in, it looks all right. But as I zoom out, and this is what I need this camera for this view here, well, it just will not do that job. So I'll leave it like that and I'll just go back to our webcam. So where are we at now? Okay, so how long have we been painting here? Oh my God, already 52 minutes? Feels like we've been here 10 minutes. So what am I going to do next? I'm going to move on to the frame, but my idea was to do the guy first and then do the frame afterwards, but I didn't think I was going to waste so much time adding these plants or whatever you want to call them to my canvas. But so that kind of took things in a different direction as planned. And I'm not really sure of what I'm going to do on this frame. As I mentioned earlier, everything I do here, I kind of do it spontaneously when I walk in the studio. But here I have, I really have no idea what I'm gonna do. So that is our painting seen by both cameras at the same time. Yep, I don't, really know what I'm going to do. And since I am not a robot, I am going to have to, smoke some weed and check this out and think it over and see what I'm going to do. I have a pretty good idea about the frame, but I don't know. I'm kind of hesitant. So I'm just going to wait a little bit. As I said, I think I'm going to think this out and see what we're going to do on this frame. We're going to finish this painting no matter what. Tomorrow is what, Thursday? I'm sure by Friday we'll be all done, and which is perfect. Like that, on Monday we'll have a new camera to replace camera number 2, and we will start. It's nice to start a new painting on a Monday, right? Because I got to roll up this canvas, roll out another one, cut it up, measure it, staple it to the wall, put a coat of gesso, and then for the next few days are going to be really short streams because you have to put 1-2 coats of background paint, whatever. So anyways, Mondays is a perfect way to start the week. So again, my friends, I want to thank you very much for joining me today. I'm going to apologize because I'm polite about my stupid little camera that will not work. Poor baby, I love that camera. But anyways, that's the way it goes. And I will see you on Monday, 9 a.m. I hope, Monday, I'm already on the weekend. No, I'll see you here tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday. Oh, no, screw me, man. I'm so sorry. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and I will not be in the studio tomorrow. I have a doctor's appointment way up at the other end of France, so I'll be moving. I won't be in tomorrow. So anyways, I'll be back on Thursday. Thursday is the day that we do our stream in French, even though for the last 3 weeks I forgot we did it in English. But anyways, what the hell, So I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you on Thursday. I'm going to leave you like usual with 2 things. I'm going to leave you with my schedule and by saying very gently, ciao mes amis.